So I think you can start, Paola.
Okay. Good morning to all the participants to the virtual workshop of this first international student competition, FoodFactory-4Us, organized within the FoodStar project, which is an Erasmus Knowledge Alliance activity. Here at the moment in this starting and opening session will be myself, Paola Pittia, and Gerhard Schleining from Boku in Austria, in Vienna. Just go ahead. Gerhard, some words?
Yes, also welcome from my side. I will do the moderation through the program, and before that I will explain how this system is working. There are only a few things you have to know. You should see a control panel on your screen. To the right it may look like this. It can be different on different computers depending on the operating system, but there are some icons which are important. Maybe Paola, you can click the next. Yeah, there is one thing. You can post questions all the time. So if something happening that you have a bad connection, you don't hear anything, or you have a question, then you can post the question in this box. There is an arrow, which you can minimize this control panel to hide it from the screen. You can also switch to full screen. Important is also the icon to raise your hands. So if you want to say something, to give a comment, just raise your hand, and then I will see that, and then I can open your microphone, because all the microphones are muted just to avoid background noise. But if you want to have an urgent question, just click on this icon. Maybe you can try now that I can see if it's working. Try to click on your control panel on this hand. Nobody is. Oh, there's one, Sophie. Yes, I saw it. Maybe the others can also try. Yes, okay, it's working. Thank you. I also want to mention that everything is recorded, and the recording can be reviewed also later on. We have two presentations which have been pre-recorded because the participants have to participate in other lectures and exercises. So I will display this from my screen, but I also uploaded these two presentations in the system. So under handouts you can find the MP4 files, so you can also download and watch them later. So I think that's everything from my side. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand now, and I will open your microphone. Otherwise, we can continue with Paola. And for the presenters, I will also then make you presenter. And those people then will receive a message on their screen that they are now presenter, and they can share their screen. That means you can share your application, your PowerPoint, or you can share your screen, and then everybody will see your screen and you can start with the presentation. Okay, that's all from my side.
Thank you, Gerhard. I just briefly introduction. I give a brief introduction of the FoodStar project within this first international competition has been organized, which is the FoodStar, and which is a project that is aimed to close the gap between universities and food industry in order to match the skills needs of the food industry with those with the food study courses and all the activities that are needed to achieve the skills of the future generation, current and future generation of the food study students and graduates. So actually there are several activities running within this project, and which is a European, developed at the European level with some partners participating from different countries. And you can see here we have 7 universities, 3 food companies, and 11 multipliers and training providers from the countries here in yellow in the map. We have these are the participants currently with these are the university. BOC, who is the coordinator, AgroParisTech from France, Istituto Politecnico de Coimbra from Coimbra, Universidad Católica Portuguesa from Porto, Hohenheim from Germany, Leeds from UK, and Teramo from Italy. Then we have 3 main food companies. As a multiplier, we have several food industry association from different countries in Europe, along with the ISEKI-Food Association, that is also the sponsor of the first international competition of the students, that is FoodFactory-4Us. Then we have EFOST, SPES, that is a federation of food industry federations, and EROICA, which is another association at European level related to the international relation offices of the university. The target group of the project are both industry but also teachers and students, like all the participants of this game. Main outcome of this project is also the development of the Food Star Center, that is a virtual platform where industry representatives, universities, and interested people, like all the students, can find a way to collaborate in order to develop new skills, new projects, joint activities to develop knowledge and skills for the food technologists and the food professional of the future. Let's go more in deep on this virtual workshop of today, which is the final step of this first international student competition game, and that start with all the presentations given by the students and will ending with the awarding session. Actually, the awarding session, sorry, the project included somehow as objectives the improvement of practical knowledge and abilities in solving real processing and food industry related problems, and somehow was aimed to favor the interaction among the students from various universities. And actually we had the involvement of the food industry associations in the identification of some food industry topics, as well as in the evaluation board that evaluated all the projects we received. This competition was led from the scientific point of view by myself, Cristina Silva from the Universidad Católica Portuguesa, Flores Dubois Brissonnet from AgroParisTech, and Gerard Schleining from BOCU in Vienna. As you know, this was the timing and the different steps. So now we are actually in the last part of this game. The game is over, as I also was saying this morning to another group, and somehow now it's the time for you to present your project to all the teams. This was the aim of this virtual workshop, and at the end of this workshop we will have the winner announcement. Some data about the competition. Actually, we started with the 15 teams from 9 countries, and now we, well, I'm very happy about it because we have 8 teams. One withdrew just a few days before the submission of the report, and with 6 countries, not only from Europe, and this means that somehow there is some interest also outside Europe in the development of this kind of activities. We had 2 virtual meetings where we discussed and we shared somehow some preliminary activities of these projects. So let's go more in particular on the virtual workshop of this afternoon. This is almost gone, the opening session of the virtual workshop. And then we will continue. It is my pleasure to have with us this afternoon Professor Samsaghi, which is a professor emeritus of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and actually is a visiting professor of my university in Teramo in Italy, and actually he is in a Teramo in a room next to mine. And he will give an introduction speech that for sure will be of main interest for all the students and all the teams that are here with us this afternoon. Then there will be the presentation of the 8 teams. I listed them in alphabetic order. So there is no ranking in terms of evaluation. So then at the end we will have the wording session that will be led by Gerard Schleining and Rui Costa. So I think that for now it's all. It's the time for Gerard to take again the presentation screen and leave the floor, let's say the virtual floor, to Samsaghi. Thank you very much to all, and we will be here listening. I'll be here listening to all the presentation and making questions to all the teams.
Thank you very much, Paola. I've already made Sam as presenter. So please, Sam, now the floor is yours, or the system.
Okay, thank you, Gerard. Thank you, Paola. For me, it's a real pleasure to speak to you today. Although I'm in Italy, I'm with each and every one of you, wherever you are. I like to travel, and I've been to most of the countries that you are representing today. What I like to do today is I really like to challenge you a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. So what you expect from an old professor like myself is probably not what you're going to hear. And the real message is that if you like to retire at the age of 25, probably you are at that age, then you better skip this presentation, because I'm going to talk about work, 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 and a lot of fun in the end. So if you like to have Dolce Vita, as we say here, this is not the presentation for you. Hopefully you're going to stick with me until the end, so you are not going to retire very soon. So this is how we're going to have a common goal. Now, I'm sure you didn't expect me to start with sports. And I'm not so sure that you are familiar with hockey, ice hockey. It's a very great sport, mainly in the US and Canada. And one of the best player was Wayne Gretzky. And what he said, and I think you have to listen or to read it, and he said 2 things that really had a big impact on me, and I hope on you as well. And he said, the first one was, you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. So if you think about an opportunity and you always use excuses why not to take it, then you're going to miss 100% of these opportunities. Think about that. Not taking an opportunity means to miss 100% of that. The second thing that he said is that he skates to where the puck is the ball in hockey, is going to be, not where it has been. actually what this sentence tells you, that you have to think about the future, not about the past, and you have to foresee and you have to plan for the future, because this is where the game and the activity and the success is going to be. So your future is where you want it to be, but you have to plan for it. Now, the main points that I like to leave with you are very few, and I'm not going to spend too much time describing that because that's going to be a part of the presentation. So let's start with time management. And as you see on the right of the screen here, time is like a sand clock. It ticks all the time. The problem is with time is that it's a very scarce resource. And the most problem of that is that it ticks faster by the day, not scientifically speaking, but perception-wise. And you'll find it as you grow up or you getting older that it starts ticking faster and faster. The other problem with time is that no matter how much money and resources you have, you'll never be able to buy time. So the outcome of that is you really need to find a way to manage that correctly. So there is the first discrepancy between academia and industry is that when you are a student, normally time is very flexible, it's abundant, it's never critical, and it's not emphasized or taught correctly. And this is our problem as an academician. On the other hand, when you go and you join the industry, time starts to be very strict. You have a lot of deadlines. Time to market is essential and paramount. Unexpected assignment by every morning. You have to do a lot of troubleshooting and so on. So normally when you start your work in the industry, think about it. You have to buy a new calendar. I'm talking about metaphorically, obviously, that you need to have 400 days calendar. So every time you need some more days, go ahead and borrow that from your calendar because you're always going to need more time. So you have to control the time, and time management, it's an art. But start early and never stop. It will certainly be more difficult tomorrow. The second point that I would like to raise is that team and partnership and skills. The era of one-person show is over. From now, you have to think not innovate or die, but partner or perish. Not publish or perish, but partner or perish. And you are not as good as you are, but you are as good as your team. And I hope that your presentation today is going to show that. Secondly, the skills of people skills are paramount. You have to be multidisciplinary, diversity and gender are vital. Now, I don't know how many of you are men and how many of you are women, but for us men, we have to realize that women are as equal and even more equal than us. They have as tougher than us, bigger than us, and stronger than us, metaphorically speaking. So they need to have the role in society, and I think we have to realize that they have a very, very solid part in society, and we have to accommodate that. More than that, we have to think about perception, and I'm sure this concept is very new to you. The perception or fluff is that when we are dealing with a team, we always need to have some fluff that we describe and tell stories, but also at the same time we have to have a lot of stuff, the real science of that. And actually there is a combination between pull and push. We have to push things, but we have to build and we have to plan that other side is going to pull that, and we'll talk about these points a little bit later. Now, there is a mismatched skill set needs between academia and industry. In academia, we are doing a lot of research. In industry, what they should think of and what we have to think about, it's employability. And it's our role to provide our students the right employability. We have to think about the difference between science and market needs, and there is a big gap between the two. So in industry, they speak a different language, and the language is business. And most food companies, if you are not familiar with that, are market-driven. That means that the company is run by marketing people. Technology and science are essential, but they are transparent for the consumer and the customer. So what our role is to convey and to make sure that the message is sent across, but in the end, we have to realize that what sells the product is marketing. So the business and marketing language is spoken everywhere, and it's our role to learn how to speak it. You have to understand the terms, and you have to use that, and you have to apply them. Secondly, we have to acquire consumer insight, because in the end, the products that we are going to produce is going to be bought by consumers, used by consumers, enjoyed by consumers. So we have to address their needs and hopes and expectations. Now, trying to educate our counterparts, business people, is very difficult. In most chances, the chances for that are quite slim. So how to communicate, this is something that we have to learn, and we need to have the skills. Innovation is a very nice word. Everyone is using that, but in the last probably 20 years or so, it became a buzzword. A buzzword comes from the noise that the bee is making. It's a lot of buzz. And there is not even one acceptable definition for innovation. What we know is that innovation is not research, invention, publication, or creativity. I'm repeating, it's not research. So if you thought that when you're doing research, you're doing innovation, this is not correct. Innovation is a process. Normally, it's a very risky one because most of the new products are failing. It needs continuous management and support, nourishment, and it lives in quarantine. It turns very quickly into a commodity. So innovation is a process that generates value for the consumer or the customer in the end. The new paradigm that you have to adjust to is that from closed innovation, that you know everything, you have to open up to open innovation. From incremental, very small steps to a very big one, disruptive. And from mass production, where you're pushing what you produce into a personalization and health and knowledge, health and wellness, which is the pool. Now, where innovation lives, it lives in the interface. So you have to really think where you can interface with other fields. And the message is participate at seminar, lectures, meetings, and other domain at least once a year. Adapt open innovation mentality. That means that you're going to be open to a lot of new ideas, and join consumer focus groups or call centers so you'll be ready and understand the terms that consumers are using and what are their needs and expectations. Let me move quickly to Moore's law. And Moore's law was actually published at around 1965. And in essence, what this law says is that every 18 months or so, the cost of a computer or chip goes down by 2, or the speed of the computing goes up by a factor of 2. This is a doubling relationship, so it's not linear. So if I'm looking about Moore's law, actually what it says that every 18 months or so, the cost is going to go down by 2, or knowledge is going to go up by 2. And if you look on the other thing on this graph, you can see that the sequence platform of the first generation and the second generation indicates that now today you can have a complete DNA, or almost a complete DNA and knowledge in less than close to $300, which means that we are completely in a new era, an era that our DNA is going to be available, and this means that personalization and health and wellness is going to be a major factor to deal with, and also that knowledge is going to be doubling almost every 2 years. So the knowledge gap that we have to realize is that it's increasing, it's not decreasing. So you have to think about continuous e-learning and advanced degrees. You have to think about the digital world. And all these terms that looks to you probably like Chinese, if you don't speak Chinese, Internet of Things, big data, cloud computing, DNA, virtual reality, modeling, virtualization are becoming more and more the language spoken everywhere. And personalization plays a major role, so you have to learn the new language. Now, let's talk a little bit about the mismatch between academia and industry. Our role as academia, as we see that, is normally education. We have to excel in basic and fundamental research. In the industry, they have to excel normally in production. They do a little bit of R and a lot of D, development. They think about intellectual properties and obviously profitability. So what we need to change, we have to think about relevance, research that is relevant. We have to think about social responsibility, how I'm going to increase the employability of students like yourself, and to become an organic member of the industry that we can help and assist them. On the other hand, industry needs to take a paradigm shift as well. They have to embrace academia. They have to have a proactive collaboration, not only by talking to us, but also participating in teaching, mentoring, and support. So if I'm summarizing the change in the career paradigm, what you have to look here is the difference of the attribute between the old and the new one. For instance, security, previously it was a job security, now we're talking about employability. The job fit was personal, now we're talking about the organizational. Life balance. Up till recently, no one talked about the life balance. Today, we have to make a balance between work and family that we can live with in the right way. Success, it's not anymore only my career. It's a personal and a team at the same time. Degree in the past, academic degree would be sufficient. Now it's a continuous learning, and if you have a degree, it's just the beginning, it's the door opener. Position, it's not only the title that I have, it's the competencies that I have and I'm going to acquire. Employability, from the full-time, we're moving into contracts, we're moving from a single job to multiple jobs, and job changing, we are going to do that based on growth-based and not fear-based. And finally, we are not talking about a tenure base anymore, we're talking about performance-based. So these are major changes that you have to understand, analyze, and really digest and assimilate for your future. Soft skills, I'm sure all of you are very familiar with that. So we have to think about communication, team player, multitasking, global, languages. I'm in Italy and I'm still not speaking Italian. My problem. But I have a wonderful excuse. I'm too old for that. But you are young. So English is a must. But what about Chinese? What about Spanish? What about Portuguese? What about other languages? German, French, and so on. It's not enough to speak 1 or 2 languages anymore. You need more. You need advanced computer skills. You need people and financial and commercial skills and consumer knowledge. You need to be able to have a dialogue on cultural diversity and gender and creativity and innovation. And finally, your future employability and promotion depends on it. So take it into consideration. 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I was in New York and I went to MoMA. MoMA is the Museum of Fine Arts. And actually, it's in New York, and they had a show that was on Francis PICABIA. I don't know if you are familiar with it. I was not. And one of the things that I saw was what he wrote under his name, and he said, our heads are round so our thoughts can change direction. Think about that, because this is what the essence of what I'm thinking. You really need to have an open mind and be very, very, very tuned to changes, to opportunities. Look on the picture on the right, and I don't know if you can see that clearly, but if you look very carefully, you can see a woman inside the head of another woman. So actually, what is on the surface is not always what you should look at. You have and you need to have a deeper looking at thoughts and so on to be able to appreciate what is going on in our world. And finally, let me talk a little bit about the future. We need to think about an integrated partnership where academia and industry are collaborating, but this is not enough. And I call that the fourth helix, where the government and the private sector have to be a part of this partnership. And lastly, a bright and exciting future for food practitioners are across the corner, leading the health and wellness, meeting future needs and opportunities is something for you to be able to achieve and to lead this direction, this field, this profession to fruition. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Stan, for pointing out some interesting aspects of the future working environment for food scientists and food technologists. Maybe some of you have some questions according to some of the slides. Could be a good opportunity to ask Sam if you have some urgent questions on that, or if you agree or disagree with something.
Well, my answer to that is I hope everyone disagree with me, so we have a discussion, and from a discussion we can reach a higher level of understanding. If everyone agrees with me, I didn't do a good job.
I just would like to comment about this. I mean, this maybe was a first meeting with you, and for me, some years ago, it was a pleasure to meet you because of your challenging point of view, and it's absolutely important to have also these issues to be taken into account. I hope that all the students here attending the meeting, the workshop this afternoon could take at least one seed of your speech for their professional career. And I would like also to thank you for your contribution.
Thank you.
So I don't see any hand raising or any written question. Maybe all of the participants are excited about their presentations, so maybe we start with the presentations now.
They are in shock, yeah. So they are in shock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there is one question from Daniela Rojas. I will open your microphone so you can speak. No?
Wonderful presentation, first. We like it, and it's really good input for our future careers as well. And well, I was thinking, you mentioned that there is a big gap nowadays between the industry and academia. That's true. And I used to work in academia and also in an industry as well. But sometimes there is this reluctancy of the companies to trust on the universities to do some research together, because sometimes the companies are looking more on the know-how and they don't want to give out the information. How can you fill that bridge within them?
Well, that's a wonderful question. Thank you. First, let me give you a little bit of my background. I worked several times for the Nestle company. I worked both in Europe and the US. I worked for the Pillsbury company in the US. I worked for another company in the US that is a collaboration between Canada and US. It's Molson Coors, the beer company, and so on. And always, the smaller the company, the more protective it is, and they feel that they have so many secrets, they shouldn't collaborate with anyone. These companies are very difficult to change. They are owned by an owner. They have very little technology, and it's almost a lost game. But what we know right now, and everyone in this business knows, that innovation comes from collaborations. Innovation comes from open innovation. That means that borders don't exist anymore. You have to be able to bring in and bring out ideas and data. And the way to do that is, that's what I said, is that you have a person that comes from the academia and become an organic part of the business. And the same thing goes on the other side. And only through collaboration, face to face, as we say, you sit down with a person and you see the white in his eyes. That means that you are able to speak one-on-one, and then we are people. We are people that we like to trust each other, that we like to work together, and we can benefit, and not only benefit, 1 + 1 is 8, because we have a synergistic contribution. So the fear exists, but we have to break it. We are not going to have 100% success, but you know what? Let's talk about the 85%, and let's leave the 15% out. If nothing is going to help them, that's fine. But we can do, and the question is, never give up. Try. If you fail today, try that tomorrow. If they close the door, come through the window. If they close the window, break the wall.
Yes, because I'm also a strong believer that actually that the small companies that grow in a developing country, and if they start interacting with the universities, actually this could help developing the country as well, because a country is built up on the research they perform, and we need to change this mentality of these new companies and new CEOs that run them, because it's important. I believe that.
Well, you're absolutely right, and I think through collaboration and communication, and it's the role not only of industry to come to us, but also for academia to go to industry. So it's a partnership, and in partnership, everyone is equal. So don't wait until the academia comes to you, go to academia. And vice versa, don't wait until the industry comes to you, go to industry, become a part and a partner, and see, if you try, you're always going to succeed. Okay. If you are not going to chase the opportunity, it's 100% miss. And this has come back to the first slide I showed. You know, if you are not going to take the opportunity, it's going to be 100% loss.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniela. I think we have to go on now with the presentations because we are already running out a little bit of time. I would like to introduce now the first team. Maybe if you have some questions to the presentation of Sam, you can always use the chat box and the question box to place your questions there, and we can come back maybe at the end to further questions.
Or email me. That's going to be easy as well.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. So I would like then to introduce the first team from France, from AgroParisTech. It's about salt reduction. And the presenter is Sophie Parent. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is correct. I have a small problem now because there are 3 Sophie Parents subscribed. I made one of them as a panelist so that you can also show your webcam. Sophie, are you? Yeah, you switched on your webcam. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I will make you now presenter, and then you can show your PowerPoint presentation. Yes. So just
okay. So, but first, I think we will talk. All the team will talk. So, can we also open the microphone of the 3 others? Sophie Parent, I guess.
Yes, I can do that. So first, I mean, but the presentation is on your computer, right?
Yeah, presentation is in my computer.
So I make you now presenter. So you should see a message.
Yeah.
So you can open your PowerPoint that we can see. Yes, we see. And then you can start with the presentation. I will also open the microphones of the other 2. So the microphones are open. So please. Go ahead.
Hello.
Can we just? Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I do the beginning, so.
Yeah, but first maybe we can check if Charlotte and Celine are here.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Celine?
And Celine?
It's not working for Celine?
I have only 2 Sophie Parent, so maybe next time you should register with your own name, then I can differentiate. I have only 3 Sophie Parent in the system.
We should be 4.
What's your name? The third one?
Dos Santos Celine.
Dos Santos Celine is here. Okay, I will also open her microphone. Okay.
Thank
Celine?
you.
Can you speak? Celine? Hello, Celine, can you try to speak? Your microphone is open. She is not present at her computer, I think.
Maybe she's here, but she told us that she has maybe some troubles with her microphone. So.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Working.
So,
Okay. Well, hello everybody. So we are the Agro team, and today we will talk about how can we reduce salt content in a cooked ham without reducing its shelf life. So, for the overview, it will be in the first part the strategy of the project implementation and development. Then it will be the development of the project, and in the third part, the innovation and potential applicability. So there is 3 different applicability. The first one is a product with additional nitrates. The other one is a product packaged in modified atmosphere, and the third one is the biopreservation by lactic bacteria. So in introduction, what is cooked ham? Cooked ham is a ready-to-eat food allowing the development of Listeria monocytogenes. So Listeria monocytogenes is a pathogenic microflora, and because it is pathogenic, there is a microbiological criteria to it, and we have to stay below 100 CFU per gram. We are using lactic acid bacteria for the biopreservation. This is a spoilage microflora, so there is no microbiological criteria for it. For example, there was in Canada in 2008 an outbreak due to the ingestion of cooked ham contaminated by Listeria monocytogenes. So this is us, the agro team. On the left, you can see Céline, then it's Charlotte, then Sophie, and finally me, Leo. So in November, we started biology. In December, we had our first. Hello.
Also.
The PowerPoint is gone.
You still present. So who is presenting?
Leo is talking, and I should have the PowerPoint. It's still in my screen, but.
Yeah, maybe I'm confused with because they're always the same name. So I make. Yeah. Okay, we see again. I make also the other I make panelists so they can also switch on their camera if they want.
Can I switch here? I don't think I can switch. I can't switch. So who can switch the guides?
There is an icon. So
it's me. It's me, Leo.
Okay. Hello. So on this slide, you can see the agro team. So on the left, Céline, then Charlotte, Sophie, and finally me. In November, we started by taking notes of the project and predictive microbiology. Then in December, we had our first draft and first advice. In January, we were writing the final report. In February, March, we were making the slideshow. And finally, today, it's the final meeting. So the strategy of project implementation and development. So the cooked ham is mostly consumed by households with children. So there is a different consumption of cooked ham by household, but there is also a difference in consumption by country. So the biggest pork consumers are Denmark, Cyprus, Germany, Lithuania, and Spain.
So in the ham, NaCl is used as an enhancer and preservative. So this is why it's consumed a lot. And the recommendation are to reduce the salt of 20% in the diet. So the aim of our project is to reduce salt content in the ham while keeping the same shelf life. And for this, we will take into account the development of Listeria monocytogenes and the lactic and other microorganisms like lactic acid bacteria. So we first started to get information and collect some data about the behavior of microorganisms in different metrics. So we determined mu-opt. This is the maximum speed of development of Listeria monocytogenes. And then with other data like cardinal parameters, we used and applied mathematical models to have the shelf life of the cooked ham. And then we applied this to different scenarios.
Okay, so the main idea of our project is based on biopreservation and the Jameson effect, which mimics the competition effect between two bacteria, for example, lactic bacteria and Listeria. So the graph shows you the growth curves of lactic bacteria in orange, Listeria in yellow, and finally both Listeria and lactic bacteria in green. So as you can see, when a lab reaches its slowdown phase, it leads to the end of the Listeria growth when both Listeria and lab grow together. So it's the green curve. And finally, to conclude on this slide, well, the final concentration of Listeria is lower with lactic bacteria than without any lab.
Okay, so you can see here the standard formulation of the cooked ham. There is also lactate inside it. And so the initial contamination inside the ham is usually 0.1 CFU per gram for Listeria monocytogenes and between 10 CFU per gram and 50 CFU per gram for lactic acid bacteria. And for our project, we have chosen to be more secure, so we choose initial contamination of 0.1 CFU per gram for Listeria monocytogenes and 50 CFU per gram for lactic acid bacteria. So now we try to change different parameters in the formulation of the ham reduced in salt. So we first propose to add nitrates, then to create a modified atmosphere packaging, and then we tried the biopreservation with lactic acid bacteria. So we first chose a scenario where ham was kept at 4 degrees, but it was not so realistic. So this is why we created a conservation line life for our ham slice, which is more realistic and closer from the reality.
So on this chart, we decided to present to you the growth of Listeria during standard formulation and salt reduced. So as you can see, during all this storage, salt reduced formulation appeared to have a faster increase of Listeria, which is higher than that stage in the regulation you see. So nowadays, factories need to find new formulations while keeping the same shelf life as the standard formulation. So we can wonder what could we change. So as Sophie said previously, we test 3 new products in formulations. The first one is a product with additional nitrates. So we decided therefore to enhance the concentration of nitrates in the new formulation up to 3.5 ppm instead of 3 ppm. So as you can see on this chart in orange is the growth of Listeria during the new formulation. So for the product with additional nitrates, Listeria grows weaker than for standard formulation and formulation with salt reduction during all storage. Moreover, the concentration of Listeria never reaches 100 CFU per grams until the sandwich consumption, so at the right of the chart. However, it is recognized that the presence of nitrates may lead to the rise of the nitrosamides formulation, which are carcinogenic substances. Consequently, there is a clear need to find a new solution. So we tested another solution, which is a product package in modified atmosphere. So it is known to reduce the microorganism development and thus protecting the freshness and the preservation of the product. So as previously, this chart presents to you in orange the growth of Listeria during modified atmosphere packaging. We decided to increase the percentage of CO2 from 20% to 60%. So results show an increase of Listeria similar for modified atmosphere packaging and standard formulation, as you can see on this graph. So indeed, the concentration of Listeria does not exceed 100 CFU per gram at the end of the sandwich consumption. Nevertheless, we have to pay attention to the total package gas permeation during the full shelf life, so we have to find maybe another solution.
So, and finally, the third innovation that we propose to you is based on biopreservation using lab and the Jepsen effect that I presented to you earlier. So, the initial concentration of lactic bacteria was increased up 1000 CFU per gram. So, as we saw earlier, a product with a salt content reduced by 25% leads to a highest level of Listeria at the end of the consumption compared with a standard product. So the biopreservation, which is represented here by the red curve, allows to fall down below the standard of the European Commission, which is 100 CFU per gram. So the shelf life is currently based on pathogenic bacteria to avoid foodborne diseases, and using biopreservation. Using biopreservation, the shelf life could be based on spoilage microorganism, for example. So to conclude our presentation, we should cut down on our salt intake. So we try to propose to you 3 innovations in cooked ham processes to ensure food safety and meet the needs of public health. So products with additional nitrates are already commercialized, exploiting nitrates which are naturally contained into vegetable broth. But the problem is that they are carcinogenic. So we proposed another solution, which is a product into modified atmosphere packaging. The problem is that the gas permeation during all the shelf life and the transfer of the gas into the food. So finally, the third innovation that we chose is biopreservation, which is a natural way to inhibit unwanted bacteria as Listeria, using a natural microbial food microflora. However, we have to pay attention into the capacity of fermentation of lactic bacteria, because cooked ham is not a fermented product. So the last point is that we could also study the effect on bacteriophages, which are already used in medicine. Thank you for your attention, and if you have any question, we will be happy to answer.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation. Well done. I'm not sure if we have time for questions, Paola, or
maybe one if someone has curiosities to ask to this interesting study, besides me, from the other participants.
I don't see any hand.
Okay, then. So we can thank you very much again, also from my side. Very well done, very well science-based, and really you evaluated very well all the pros and cons related to the innovation. Thank you very much.
Thank
See you later.
Okay. So I will continue now with the next team. As far as I can see, maybe you are panelists now, maybe you can mute your microphone by yourself so that we don't have any feedback from or background noise from you, but you can stay as panelist and keep your camera on or off, it's up to you. So the next team is from Wageningen. The presenter is Stephanie Hartono. It's about development of a yogurt product containing antioxidants from avocado. So the team name is also Avocado. I think they are not present. Nobody's present from them because they have some other exercises, but they sent us a presentation, and I will try to see, this is, I will try to.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm from Avocado. I'm going to present you the application of avocado seed as antioxidant source in yogurt. Our objective is with avocado seed, which have high antioxidant capacity.
Can you listen?
I'm going to present you the application of avocado seed as antioxidant source in yogurt. Our objective is to increase the functionality of yogurt and decreasing the waste from avocado seed. Our main objective is to combine yogurt, which is a popular and healthy product, with avocado seed, which have high antioxidant capacity but underutilized, so we can have a healthy and sustainable product from yogurt and avocado. This is our timing plan. We start on December 2016 and we finish it on February 2017. For project strategy, we did literature study to know about avocado seeds antioxidant properties and feasible processing technique. Then, we did experiment to make avocado seed powder and apply them into yogurt. We aim to produce yogurt with avocado seed that has acceptable sensory and suitable antioxidant properties. Qualitative approach is done by observing properties of avocado seed yogurt, while quantitative approach is done to determine the amount of avocado seed powder into yogurt that has acceptable sensory properties and proper amount of antioxidant. Avocado seed contains strong antioxidant compounds, and it has oxygen radical antioxidant capacity or ORAC of 96.7 mg per lux equivalent per gram dry weight. Avocado seed is obtained from byproduct of guacamole, avocado pulp, and avocado oil. Since 18.6% of the whole fruit is seed, it is potential to be used further. Avocado seed is dried, milled, and sieved to obtain avocado seed powder. 0.5% and 1% weight per weight avocado seed powder is applied into yogurt as shown in the picture. Yogurt with 1% avocado seed shown more brownish color than 0.5% avocado seed powder. This is the yogurt with avocado seed processing flowchart. We suggest to add avocado seed powder after yogurt fermentation is done, because if the powder is added in the middle of fermentation, it could disrupt the yogurt network formation, which might cause defect in the product. The powder cannot be added before homogenization step because it will cause problem in homogenization system.
Yogurt with 0.5% and 1% avocado seed are used in this experiment. Compared to yogurt with 1% avocado seeds, yogurt with 0.5% avocado seeds exhibits more similar properties with commercial yogurt. However, it has lower antioxidant capacity. There is contamination risk when avocado seed is added into yogurt. However, avocado seed contains phenolic compound that could act as microbial inhibitor. Therefore, the contamination risk can be minimized. Open market for this product is environment and health-conscious consumer. We can conclude that this product is healthy, sustainable, and easy to produce. However, based on our evaluation, higher concentration of avocado seed may cause textural change in the yogurt. Therefore, avocado seed extracts could be potential solution. Yogurt with antioxidant from avocado seed is a potential innovative product aimed to satisfy consumer preference toward healthy products. As yogurt is already a familiar product to consumers, no need too much effort in introducing this product to market. Our yogurt can be consumed as dessert while having breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Obviously, we also get antioxidant from avocado seeds, which is beneficial for our health. Okay, this is the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Reintroducing Powtoon.
Okay. So I think it was also a nice presentation, but obviously nobody is here, so we cannot ask questions. So I think we
Gerard, just to comment about this procedure. I mean, all the teams has been already, the project has been already evaluated. So this is somehow this virtual workshop is just to present and share with all the projects that has been presented and evaluated. So unfortunately, they are not here with us, but obviously they have been already evaluated.
Okay, so I think then we continue with the next team. These people are far away. They're coming from Mexico. I see 2 people are present, but with the same name. I make you both now presenter, so you can also share your webcam. Just a moment. Make you panelist first. And then I make one of you presenter. I don't know. There is already one.
Can you make the other person the presenter?
Andrea Mirabel. Hello. So you are presenting?
Yeah.
So maybe I make you presenter that you can show your PowerPoint. Yeah, perfect. So I think you can start.
Okay. Okay, so can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon. We are ISEKI-Food, and we are a team of undergraduate students from Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. And our project is a pre-treatment and drying methods for the production of crunchy blueberries.
So we're going to start with this question: why crunchy blueberries? Why did we decide to focus on the development of this type of product? There has been noticed a growing preference by Western markets for crunchy fruit snacks. People tend to associate this texture with high-quality products. A fruit processing plant industry here in Mexico called Alimentos Procesados de Zapotlán has shown interest in the production of crunchy blueberries. The second question would be, why is there an interest in developing an alternative method to produce crunchy fruits if there are already several of them that have shown fair results? Here we present several disadvantages of dehydrating methods, which serve as limitations for the obtainment of the desired product, especially in the mechanisms mentioned previously. Some of them, like explosion of and controlled sudden decompression, involve extreme conditions that can harm the fruit. Freeze drying, although it's considered as one of the best processes, is highly expensive and time-consuming. Frying decreases shelf life and is not considered as healthy. High temperatures over time can cause undesirable effects on fruit color, which is not accepted very well by consumers. Finally, for convective multi-flash drying, specialized equipment is required. Another obstacle that was identified for the dehydration of blueberries is its skin. Blueberries possess natural epicuticular wax that protects the fruit from external factors and controls the absorption and release of substances in and out of the fruit. This wax makes the skin impermeable, and this impermeability acts as a barrier when moisture diffusion and/or impregnation want to be carried through. Thus, an efficient drying method must be developed to overcome this difficulty. Taking into account what was just mentioned, the main aim of this project is to obtain crunchy blueberries by developing a process to remove wax coating and allowing more permeability. Establishing pressure and time conditions for partial dehydration that optimize impregnation of sucrose. Determining pressure, temperature, and time conditions for a simple and air drying method that results in crunchy blueberries. And finally, evaluating crunchy texture through determination of mechanical properties, sensorial and acoustic properties of the dehydrated fruit.
Okay. Before dehydrating blueberries, some procedures had to be done. Blueberries in hulls and halves were used in the procedure. However, only whole blueberries were used for the first two treatments. In order to remove the wax coating of the blueberries, they had to be submitted to vapor blanching at 98 degrees for 1 minute and rinsed with water at 50 degrees Celsius for another minute so the last residues of the wax could be eliminated. The water activity of the blueberries was measured and an isotonic solution of 25 Brix was prepared. Whole blueberries, scalded and non-scalded, were then immersed into the solution and different vacuum pulses were applied, so an optimal time and pressure were obtained. The three types of blueberries were then treated to osmotic dehydration in a hypertonic solution on a 1:5 weight ratio at different resting times, measuring the sample's moisture content. A moisture content versus time curve was then made. Once determining the optimal time, the blueberries were then placed into a vacuum oven and moisture content was evaluated at different times under the same pressure. Okay, after the drying procedures, we carry out 3 different analyses on the final product berry. Firstly, we started with the texture analysis, starting by subjecting to a compression test an already notoriously crunchy snack to use as a comparison. Then we proceeded to perform the same compression test for the whole berries, the scalded and the non-scalded, and for the halves with the 70% strength. And for each berry, we gathered the data from an exponent software. Secondly, we did the moisture content, in which we placed the berries inside a convective air oven and got the weight difference after different times. And lastly, we did the sensorial analysis, which consisted on a questionnaire applied to an untrained staff, where they evaluated the berries on different aspects, such as crunchiness, acidity, sweetness, hardness, chewiness, and overall acceptability. And they rated these aspects from 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest.
Figures 3 and 4 show the response surface for scalded and non-scalded blueberries. Figure 3 shows that the lower the baking time, it increases the impregnation fraction for scalded blueberries. And for non-scalded blueberries, the longer the baking time and the lower the baking pressure, it increased the impregnated fraction. So the optimal time of osmotic to dehydration to treat scalded and non-scalded was a baking time of 2 minutes and a pressure of 30 centimeters of mercury. And for non-scalded, it was chosen a time of 12 minutes and a baking pressure of 30 centimeters of mercury. Overall, the non-scalded blueberries showed a higher impregnated fraction compared to the scalded ones. After pretreating the samples at the conditions are previously mentioned, the moisture content, the figures 5 and 6 show the moisture content of different osmotic dehydration times for all the samples. The time to pre-treat all these samples was chosen at 36 hours. In halves after 36 hours, there isn't a significant decrease in the moisture content, and the moisture content obtained after 36 hours for wholes, scalded and unscalded, is sufficient for a pre-treatment. After all the pretreatments already mentioned, the baking drying, figure 7 and 8 show the moisture content of baking drying. As we can see in the figures, all the blueberries, wholes, and halves show a similar behavior. After 20 hours, the moisture content is below 3%, which is a representative moisture content for crunchy, dry products.
After performing the texture analysis, the following 4 displacement curves were obtained for drying at 45 and 21 hours. Both figures show high hardness of 156 and 220 newtons, respectively. Similarly, both figures show jaggedness in its 4 displacement graph. This jaggedness is a characteristic of fracture events. Both jaggedness and hardness result in a crunchy product. Even though the top graph shows more jaggedness, there is no big variation in the moisture content of the samples, both resulting in a dehydrated crunchy product. Therefore, a drying treatment of 21 hours seems more convenient due to energy savings. Blueberries in halves showed a high hardness and jaggedness at 21 hours, along with a low moisture content, comparing the 4th displacement graph of the halves to that of a known crunchy product, which in this case is corn chicks. They showed to have a similar behavior.
For the establishment of a control, a fresh whole berry without treatment was subjected to baking, dehydration, and texture measurements. The resulting graph is completely smooth. This indicates the absence of fractures during compression. On the other side, when a whole berry that went through osmotic and baking dehydration for 21 hours was subjected to texture measurement, a jagged graph was obtained. Each drastic change represents a fracture on the dehydrated fruit, which indicates crunchiness.
Figures 9 and 10 shows the peak positive force and the sensorial evaluation for crispiness of the non-scalded that were proven to be crispy by the texture analysis. As we can see, the peak positive force is an indication for hardness, and as we can see in a crunchy product which was non-scalded, as the peak positive force decreased, the product was perceived as more crispy. Figure 10 shows the peak positive force in the evaluation for halves, and it happens the same. There were also a crunchy product, and as the peak positive force decreases, they were perceived as more crispy. For the scalded ones, which were proven as non-crispiness, we cannot see a correlation between the peak positive force and the sensorial analysis. The figures below show the behavior of the sound frequency after they were crushed in the texture analysis. And as we can see, the ones that were proven to be crispy, which are the wholes and the halves, have a similar behavior to the sound frequency of a crunchy product, which in this case was crunchy. And the scalded ones, which were proven to be crunchy, didn't show any fraction in the sound frequency. These are the results of the sensorial evaluation for all the samples. In the non-scalded, they were perceived as highly crispy product and with low acidity. The scalded ones were not perceived as crisp products and didn't have a controlled acidity behavior. We can see that the citrus impregnation is a factor that helps crispiness and to control the acidity. In blueberry halves were perceived as a highly crisp product and with a controlled acidity. And the control group, which didn't have any pretreatment whatsoever, didn't show any control in its results. They all vary.
Okay. As conclusions, we have the impregnation levels of sucrose in the scalded berries were lower than with the non-scalded berries. We had that the best conditions for the impregnation were a baking pressure of 30 centimeters of mercury and a baking time of 2 minutes for the scalded berries and of 12 minutes for the whole non-scalded berries. Additionally, we got that the most accurate time for the osmotic dehydration was 36 hours for either of the berries. We obtained the drying curves for the whole berries and the halves. And lastly, we obtained the force displacement curves that corresponded to the crunchy products, and that also agreed with the sensorial analysis.
The final question would be, why is our project relevant? Mainly because an efficient dehydration process that does not require specialized equipment was developed. This will allow the production of healthy, crunchy snacks for every fruit processing industry like the one mentioned before. In general, our project is attending a consumer preference. It is proposing a simple and effective way to produce what people want. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Where is the team? Hi. Nice presentation. I don't know if any one of the other people attending is willing to make questions. For me, it's all clear. I mean, it's maybe I have a question, very short. How much is popular blueberries in Mexico?
Well, here, at least for my environment, for my social circle, they are not very popular because they are a bit expensive. So, yeah.
However, they're commonly used in cereals, and right now in our society is all about being really healthy and organic. So, like at least in my family, there's been an increase in the buying of blueberries because of all the health benefits.
Great, thank you very much. For me, it's fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Also from my side, it was very interesting. I have to study this presentation later. We are coming now to the next presentation from Portugal. The team name is Food Streamers, and the title is Claire Biscuits. The presenter is Bruna Mendes. I guess as there are nobody registered for that, maybe Christina, they are presenting from your computer. Hello, Christina?
No, are you listening to me?
Yes.
No, they are not with me. I was expecting that they had registered. They did not contact me.
Okay, because there is no Bruna Mendes registered.
Yeah, it's strange. And I have been here, nobody show up here. No.
I don't know, because I don't know the names. I have only one name of a team. Maybe some of the attendees can raise the hand if they are from the team Portugal.
I am looking at the names, and I think no one here. I have already checked some time ago when I joined.
Maybe we continue with another presentation. I don't know if you could contact them in the meantime to join.
Okay.
So I will then maybe move to the next presentation from Wageningen. Green Snackers we have already pre-recorded, but I see that Daniela Rojas is present. Do you want to Daniela, do you want to make the presentation live, or shall I play the pre-recorded presentation?
No, let's show the recording. It's better.
Okay, so I will anyway. I will make you panelist, that you also be able to show your webcam later, maybe if there are some questions, and I will then open the.
Yeah, if there's any questions after the presentation, yeah, feel free to ask again.
Okay, so I will make myself then presenter and open it's the Green Snackers.
Yes, go ahead. Okay. So good morning, everyone. We are Green Snackers team, and it's a pleasure for us to be here and present our short project on oil reduction in chips through coding. And just to introduce a little bit of us, we are European master students enrolled in Wageningen University, and as our master name indicates, we cover around 4 different universities, and now we're currently studying at Agro-Paritech and visiting students for 2 months. And with me today, we have Daniela, our team leader, Audrey, Alexandra, and me, and Shinji. So just let's start with our presentation. Today we're going to cover the reduction of oil content in potato chips through coding. And this is the content that we're going to go over. First, we're going to present a brief introduction. Then we're going to start with the objectives, background, and then we're going to develop a little bit of our project concept. And Audrey is going to
Gerard? Gerard?
topics that has been raising in the recent time.
Sorry, Paola, what do you mean?
No, there was the audio was off.
Okay, maybe I have to keep the mouse in this screen. So okay.
And by consumers, and also by the people who tend to eat this kind of food due to its negative effects on human health. And for this reason, as food scientists, we aim to reduce this concern by reducing the main constraint, that is the oil uptake in this kind of foods. And in the industrial application, in the industrial level, we have three methods, three principal methods that we can use. The first one is the pre-drying treatment before frying. The second one is the vacuum frying. So instead of using oil, we use a superheated steam for frying the food. And the third method we can use is the application of the coating, the edible coatings. And in this presentation, we're going just to focus on the coatings method. So what are our three main objectives? First one, we want to make a critical literature review on different sources that could be used as edible coating. And in our literature review, we review the two main ingredients that is commonly used. The first one is polysaccharides, and the second one are proteins. The second objective is to understand the combination of the proteins and polysaccharides that exhibit the appropriate barrier on oil uptake. And the last one, but not the least one, is to identify the application methodology that can target the best reduction on oil uptake. So a little bit of the background. As I said before, during the last 115 years, the consumption of the deep-fried food has been increasing a lot, especially potato chips as a savory snack. And as you can see in the graph, the UK has been identified as one of the largest purchasers of this kind of products, followed by Benelux and Spain. And so what is the driving force for the consumers to consume this kind of foods? Indeed, deep-fried potato chips products are one of the most important fields in the food industry because of the sensory properties that they give to the consumers, the crunchiness and the palatability of the products, which are highly appreciated by the eaters. However, fat and the calories are the main concerns in the increasing healthy trend of our society. And in some cases, we found that the oil uptake in potato chips can reach up to 40%, that contributes to 60% of the calories that we consume with the chips. And now some of the studies have revealed that a regular consumption of this kind of products and on chips is strongly associated with chronic disease such as cardiovascular disease, hypertension, or even obesity. But although consumers are interested in healthier food, they don't usually tend to sacrifice this healthiness by the good flavor and the texture of the products. So for that reason, we have to understand the process of the frying, and especially when the oil migrates into the structure by the time the water is evaporated on the surface. And therefore, we can say here that the amount of the oil oil uptake is the main quality factor that we should focus in to make greater or healthier snacks. And for the oil reduction in deep fried food, we can achieve through different methods. The first one we can approach through pre-frying treatments. The aim of the pre-frying treatment is to reduce the surface permeability of the oil, or we can also approach for the post-frying techniques that the aim is to reduce the oil before the post-cooling. But in this presentation, we're just going to focus more on the pre-frying treatments. So in the pre-frying treatments, we can find different techniques: osmotic dehydration, drying by microwave, coating, hot air, or baking. And within the coating method, we can use different ingredients. And with all the literature review that we focused during the last 2 months, we found that polysaccharides and proteins are the main popular ingredients used to make these edible coatings. On the one hand, polysaccharides, the advantage of using the polysaccharide is because it's one of the most commonly used ingredients in the food industry, in food industries. And then using polysaccharide does not affect the sensory properties of the product. So the sensory panels, the consumers do not differentiate the sensory perceptions of the chips. And on the other hand, the disadvantage of using polysaccharide is because sometimes depends on which kind of polysaccharide you use. You have a wide range of oil reduction. Sometimes you have less oil reduction, and sometimes you have more oil reduction, depending on which kind of polysaccharide you use. But in the case of proteins, and the advantage is you have a narrow range of oil reduction, and this range of oil reduction is usually higher than polysaccharides. But the drawback of using proteins is the price constraint. Usually using the isolates, the whey protein isolates, are much expensive than the polysaccharide itself. And in many studies, it is observed that there's a synergic effect using polysaccharides and plasticizers, because just using the solution of polysaccharides, scientists found that they saw cracks on the surface of the chips, and sometimes the coverage of the polysaccharide solution is not very smooth and very well coated, and that will reduce the barrier property of the coating. That's why they use glycerol as a main plasticizer to minimize this effect and to have a more homogeneous coating through the coating for the potato chips.
Okay, so in general, for example, we take the case for the potato chips production process. In general, we can differentiate it into like 4 main steps. The first one is like washing and peeling, which is the purpose of it is like to remove the dirt, pesticides, remove the skins, and any other impurities. This can be done through the physical method, through the abrasion of the skin of the potato, for example, and also can be conducted with the chemical solution, such as with a sodium hydroxide solution. After the peeling, then the raw material can be slicing or cutting into a desired condition of the product, and then goes directly to the starch removal process. In the starch removal process, actually partial of the starch are being removed from the product. Why? Because in this case, the starch will play important role in the Maillard reaction during the deep frying process. So if we are having like too much starch, it's going to be also directly impacted with the color, texture, and the crispiness of the end of the product. After the starch removal product, actually it can be also possible like going through a conditional process by changing the color, pH, and maintaining with the mineral treatment with the food grade mineral treatment in order to have more uniformity in the output of the end product that's produced through the system. And then afterwards, we can do for a blanching or the pre-frying and also the deep frying process. So what's the difference? The difference is in the temperature that occurs during the process. For the pre-frying, we are using like a 60 until 90 degrees of Celsius for the treatment of the product, for the material, and also it continues for the deep frying, which occur in a more higher temperature, around 140 until 155. Both of these processes must be critically controlled, whether with the temperature and also the time. Why? Because if we are putting like too high temperature, it will be also impact badly to the product. It can make the product more prone to cracking, which will induce more oil uptakes, which we are expecting not going to be that kind of thing, because it's going to increase the oil uptake in the snack content. Afterwards, we can do the seasoning and cooling depending on the desired flavor, and also cooling to excess oil, removing all the excess oil so it can be well packaged and can be delivered well to the consumer. So in this case, actually the coating application is a very feasible method and can be very aligned with the current potato chips production, or in particular. So it can be inserted between the blanching and the deep frying. Why? Because the coating, we have to ensure that it's coat and it gives the perfect barrier to the material before it goes to the deep fry, where the oil uptakes usually mostly occur in this process. For the coating itself, mainly are used 3 types of coating. It's like the dipping, spray, and brushing method. What's the difference between those 3? Firstly, the dipping mostly used for more solid coating liquid, and usually for application in the fruit and vegetable. But for the spraying and brushing, it can be applied well in a more liquid solution of the coating. And for this case, the chips, coating for the chips will more suitable with the spraying process. If we go for the innovation and the application of the coating is not only giving a beneficial in reducing the oil uptake during the pre-frying treatment, but actually the coating itself can also be beneficial to other advantages to the product. For example, it can become a vehicle for the nutrients, for like fiber, vitamins, and mineral. Maybe we are using a fiber-based coating, like we derive from the beta-glucans from the fruit fiber. It can enhance an additional fiber to the product, and it can be also possible to incorporate like antioxidants and flavor into the coating, so it will increase the sensory perception to the consumer. And also for the other application, it can be also conducted through the osmosis dehydration that from the picture we can see with the apple and the strawberry. It is used for a very highly solute coating, and the advantage is it will retain the moisture and prevent any water loss from the product. And besides the chip, actually it can be also like being applied fluid in more product application, like a fresh meat, fish fillet, fruit like plums, quiche, and even the dry bakery products. For the further technology, the coating can also be more and more explored in the nanotechnology sectors. In this case, we introduce the nanolamides, which from the pictures is a multi-layer system using a nanoparticle of the starch. So we can see that by using a different concentration and applying this nanoparticle starch as a coating, it will improve the moisture barrier and improve the barrier structure of the product. So it can be giving the retain of the moisture inside the product even more compared to the other particles. But for the concern, for sure, this is still in the development of under research development. So for the broader application in the food industry, it will take time, and maybe there's another post constraint according to this application. But it's still possible to develop even more. Okay, to sum up everything, we are concluding that our team are looking that actually the consumption of and the trend of the savory fried snacks is increasing, but on the other way, we can also see that more now consumers are more aware about their health concerns. So it's kind of a dilemma for them. So I think we are thinking that it's going to be a very good idea for the food company to tackle this program and more trying to shift their production into more healthy trend to answering the consumer demand, and also to retain its existence in the promising market, even though we know there's going to be another problem about the cost constraint. So to tackle this problem, our team are proposing that coating techniques might be a suitable one in order to reduce the oil uptake during the fried snacks, which is mostly occurred and become the main problem in everything of the fried snacking among the consumer. Yet the effectiveness of the coating might be vary, and it can be depend on many factors. For example, from which material are going to use, like whether it's from protein or from carbohydrate, which is also impact with the price, because we know the protein-based coating will be much more higher in price compared to the carbohydrate, and also whether we're using a mixing hydrocolloid with a plasticizer to increase the properties, and also the size of the product itself. And for the application during the implementation process, the coating is very visible to be implemented before the deep frying process. So it will ensure that less oil will be uptake during the deep fry process. In general, the coating, implementing this coating technique is spend quite an investment, but we believe that according to the healthy trend that's more occurring more and more, is going to be also give a beneficial and another positioning in a healthy snack for the company that adopt this method. Okay. Okay, so we come in the end of our presentation. Thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. We would like happy to answer any question. Yeah. Thank you.
Innovative and interesting for all
of our presentation. Thank you for your time and thank you for your attention. We would like happy to answer any question. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Paola Picchia. Just my compliments for your really interesting project, very well developed, and actually very innovative and interesting for all the potentialities and exploitable application. Just one question. Obviously, in a process, in a deep frying or in frying in chips, potato chips, this will imply that you have to include, even if it's a very simple system, a new step in your process, also by the addition of a new ingredient. Did you think about the impact in terms of costs, and if on your opinion, this extra cost could be balanced in terms of healthy benefits and, I don't know, quality benefits for the consumer?
Okay, for the impact, actually, yeah, it's directly will be impacting with the cost, because there's going to be another step and also another material needed. But we think that it might be a better solution. Like maybe it can be this, if they're producing this kind of product, maybe they can put it like into more a premium sector. So I think that, because I think most of people that more health concerned going more, they will tend to buy more expensive product. So we are thinking maybe it's the additional cost can be covered by selling this kind of product with a premium price.
Also, I would like to add that since the vacuum frying and buying another extra equipment to centrifuge the after oil of the product that is already affected by the potato chips, also the coating, as Algie mentioned, have another additional benefits that you can also actually include in these coatings other additive or like antioxidants or other bacteria to provide other boost to the product as well. So it will actually help and at the end the nutritional impact of the product.
Thank you very much. Actually, is the answer I was expecting, because really is a nice opportunity also, and the applications are very wide and diversified, depending also on the project and products and the ingredients that can be included for sure. Okay, for me it's all. And I think that for this team, let's say the game is over in terms of the presentation. So, and I'm afraid that you cannot be with us later on in the virtual workshop. And for now, I wish you all the best. And anyway, you will receive the certificate of attendance, and we will announce all the information on the website later on today.
So, okay, thank you. I think we heard already a question, and I'm not sure. There is a question maybe from Pilar. Pilar, I will open your microphone. Just a moment. Hello, Pilar.
Hello, I'm here. Hello. I am here with Mariana.
Yeah, you have a question? Because
yes.
Yeah.
It's something that we keep on hearing about nanotechnology, and we find it very interesting, but it concerns us, the regulatory, if it is allowed to be put in the market, especially for ingredients. Mm-hmm. And as this group mentioned nanotechnology in specific, I'm wondering if they had any reflection regarding the time to market of this.
Daniela, would you like to answer on that? Did you think about the regulation about
well, this area is actually still research, and we need to get more in depth in that part.
Okay, but is there any anticipation on how, when it will be allowed by 2020 or?
No, we haven't focused much in depth on the legislation and the regulation. There is an area that we have to there's a need to explore more in depth about this. There are many research going on, but we haven't gone in depth into the regulation about this nanotechnology processing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So there is no further questions, so maybe we can continue. I see now some Portuguese new names. Is the team from Porto already present? So maybe you can raise your hand if somebody from the Portuguese team is present. I see Cassandra Peixoto. Maybe this sounds Portuguese. Okay, maybe not.
Cassandra, yes, she's she's from Portugal. Send them an email, so I don't know. Maybe you can try to put her on.
Already registered, so maybe I can make her also panelist.
I don't know.
If she wants to present.
But no, I think maybe some difficulties. Okay.
So Cassandra. Okay, nice. So I will make you now presenter, so you can also start with a presentation. Okay, so you can then open your microphone. Your microphone is still closed. Open your microphone and open your presentation.
Aí eu tenho que abrir a apresentação? I don't know. Agora não estou a perceber.
In the meantime, Paola, there is a team from Termo.
Yeah.
Anybody from
yes,
Termo?
they are there. Yes. Nicola, Leonardo, I think they are. They send me an SMS now.
Okay. So So this team from Portugal, it's about, the name is Food Dreamers, sounds very interesting, and it's about biscuits. So maybe you can tell us your ideas. So we see the presentation, you just have to, yeah, perfect. So please.
Como é que eu consigo tirar isto? Estás a falar assim? Sim. Mas não estou a ouvir, não estou a perceber isto. Can you hear us?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So, our name is Food Dreamers. I'm Bruna, and this is Cassandra, and our project is Glare Cookies. So, our main objective is to create a new product for a market that is developing now more than ever. Our product should be not expensive, so everyone can buy it, and environmentally friendly. So, our product is contains mainly egg white, and the constitution of our product is mainly proteins and carbohydrates. Our product don't contain added sugar or gluten, so everyone can eat our products. So it's healthy. Our target customers are athletes or people who don't consume as much protein as necessary, because they take another option to their alimentation. So in the market we will promote a product that is easier to people consume protein. Our package, we have an example in the PowerPoint, and it will be biodegradable, so it's environmentally friendly. We hope that our product can make a revolution in the market, because nowadays meat entails numerous environmental problems, and people should have a chance to choose the way they want to consume their protein. So we are propose another way, a healthier way, and environmentally friendly way. So the price of our product, as I said, will be not expensive, but we should make a study about the market, so we can make some a proposal to the real price.
So for the experimental part, we made a main recipe that contained our principal ingredient, the glares. Then we added rice flour to give, it's really good for people that have a gluten intolerance. And it doesn't irritate the digestive system, and gives a really nice texture to our cookies. Then we used also xanthan gum that has really unique properties, and also helps with the parts of the texture of the cookies. Then we also added stevia and vanilla drops to help us with the taste, to have a little bit of a sugar taste. And with that recipe, we added 4 different ingredients in which one of the cookies, to have 4 different varieties, to give a really nice range of choice for our consumer. Then we use oats, and the cookies with the oats really stayed dried and really crunchy. With the cookies with the dehydrated apples, the cookies were really sweet and tasty. Then a cookie with chocolate chips, for those who really enjoy chocolate. And then the last one, we added natural soy yogurt, and this cookie was very different from the other three, because this one was really moister and really wet on the inside, and the texture was very similar to a cake, really moister. Then with this range, we hope to give the consumer very nice choices, and for those who have different taste in their way. So we made really the cookies. Unfortunately, you can taste them, but they're really good.
We can approve.
So thank you. If you have any question, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the nice presentation. Are there any questions from the participants? So I don't see any raised hand. Okay, so maybe then, because to look at the time, we should continue with the other presentations. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Very nice work. And yeah, we will try. When I come to Porto, I will try your cookies. So the next presentation is from Italy. The team is called Mama Food, and it's a product for pregnant women and for diets with folic acid supplement. So the presenter is named Leonardo Di Antonio, but I don't see him to be registered. Is there any other person from Italy?
Nicola.
Nicola, okay. Nicola, I make you now a panelist, so you can also open and close your microphone by yourself, and you can also show your...
Hi.
Hello. Good afternoon. So I make you now also presenter, so that you can... sorry, Nicola. Yeah. We can... So you should see now a message, and you can open your PowerPoint.
Okay.
And introduce yourself and start the presentation. We don't see your presentation now. It disappeared.
Sorry, can you see the presentation?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Okay. If you want to start, you go on.
Go on.
You see presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon, and good thanks Professors Gerard and Paula for a wonderful opportunity. And we are a group. Our group is Mama Food, and our product is Raviolab. We are going to present our product, and we are Nicola Geni, Leonardo Di Antonio, and Alessandro Plaga is not here for Erasmus project. So our target consumer group is pregnant woman, and our starting point is find out the most common nutritional issues, such as folic acid deficiency, and the potential solution is food with high content of folic acid, gestational diabetes. So the potential solution is low rate glycemic food, nausea and vomiting. So the potential solution is ginger. In this slide, there are some functions of folic acid, DNA and protein synthesis, production of hemoglobin. The integration benefits is decrease neuroactive defects, prevention of malformation of fetus. In the circles, there is recommended intake 0.6 milligrams per day. So our product comes from two words. One word, raviolo, second word, avocado. So, reviledo. And there are percentage value of
each ingredient.
In each ingredient. Each ingredient. So the durum with semolina and eggs we use there are moisture, protein, and carbohydrate of fat, and we use durum with semolina because it allows the formation of a gluten network through mixing, and eggs allow the stabilization of a network. So spelt flour is our mama friends one, because we obtained we reach our objective as lower glycemic index, and spelt flour has also another functions such as increasing protein intake, higher content of fibers. So avocado is an herbal fruit species. The most common cultivar is called as, and there is the lipidic avocado in the second tables, fatty acid monounsaturated. The high content of monounsaturated decrease the rate of oxidation. So avocado is our mama friend too, thanks to beneficial effect for cardiovascular health, to high presence of polyunsaturated fatty acid, control of the weight thanks to dimannulose ectulose, health of eyes and skin thanks to lutein and zeaxanthin. In the circle, there is the content of folic acid is 89 micrograms in 100 grams. There is also functionalities of starch potato and milk powder and ricotta cheese and basil. And so Zendro is our mama friend tree, because thanks to ginger, we obtained the objective to decrease decrease nausea and vomiting symptoms. In fact, it has antiemetic property.
What's going on?
Okay, see, yes, okay, now let's talking about our process. As we can see in the slide, at the beginning of the process, there is the preparation of each part of the dough of the product, the dough and the stuffing. They are separately prepared, After the preforming process, we have pasteurization steam at 70 degrees for 3 minutes, pre-drying process, cooling, and packaging. The packaging step is based on modified atmosphere packaging with a particular composition of gases. Oxygen is beside oxygen there is a question mark because the lack of oxygen is linked to the presence of a particular pathogen known as Clostridium botulinum, and this presence is related to some gram-negative spoiled microorganisms. And after the packaging, there is a storage at 4 degrees. We don't know exactly how much folic acid we lose during pasteurization process. And according to this author, the average loss is about 50%. We suppose in our case the medium loss is about 30%. So the final content is about 40 micrograms per 100 grams of product. And speaking about the packaging, the most suitable material could be polyethylene terephthalate. That is a good material that offers good properties of barrier against gases migration, gases diffusion, and it also improves shelf life of the product. And another possibility could be the use of biomaterial from avocado seeds, because it is rich of starch that can be a raw material for the production of biomaterials. But its applicability must be investigated. And another possibility is also to use high hydrostatic pressure. This process, this modern technology is like cold pasteurization, and it is able to improve food quality, but its effects on starch jellification and protein stability must be investigated, and also the packaging. And talking about nutritional claims, it is possible to use a specific indication on the label. Folate contributes to maternal tissue growth in pregnancy, according to the regulation about nutritional claims. And in this table we can see the list of each macronutrient and the total energy content for 100 grams of product. And here the list of each ingredient according to the regulation of the information to the consumers and labeling. And here there are our data collected about the moisture of the product, the water activity of the stuffing, and the duff. In our case, it's important to keep a proper value of water activity. First of all, because it's important. First of all, because if we have a difference of water activity between two parts, we have a difference of chemical potential and a possibility of water migration that affects the final quality of the product. Last but not least, value of water activity is also imposed by Italian regulation, because in Italy, if we want to make fresh pasta, we need to respect a correct value of water activity and moisture. In conclusion, our product offers items of innovation. Crops in avocado can be made in Sicily, where the climate is particularly favorable. And speaking about the drawbacks, is difficult to standardize fruit ripening. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation as well. Looked quite interesting. Are there some questions from the audience, maybe?
I have one.
Yes.
Nicole and Leonardo, why did you have some slides in Italian?
Yes, because we at the beginning we opened the wrong file, so we had trouble to discuss.
Very sorry.
To discuss and to arrange the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
I have no other questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you managed good to present this. Maybe if there are no further questions, then we continue to the next one. The next team comes from Morocco. They have a lot of olives, and that's why I guess they want to have a project on the valorization of olive wastewaters. And I would like to ask Manal Ben Mahoub to present this. I will make you panelist so that you can open your microphone by yourself, and then I will make you also presenter. Okay. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we cannot see you.
Okay, wait. Hello?
Hello?
Actually, there's another collaborator from my team. She is also going to present the first part of my presentation. So.
What's the name?
Hanan Latif.
Okay, I will also make her panelist. Okay, we see your presentation. Good.
Okay. Hello, Hanan?
Okay.
I don't see her. Hear me? Yeah, we can, but we can't see you.
There's only Manal, you have the camera.
It's okay if it's not working. I can present the whole thing.
Okay, good, perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to present the project that we made, and it's called the treatment and valorization of olive wastewaters. It was prepared by the team of Spirit. Yes. This is our tutor, Professor Kanan Anwar. Before I start, I should probably start by giving a definition of olive wastewaters. They are the aqueous phase from decentrifugation, and it has that cloudy reddish color that goes from brown to black color. This table shows the quantity of olive wastewaters that are produced by 100
kilograms of olive. We can see that if we use the continuous process as an extraction system, we have a lot of amounts of it, but less if we use the pressure. In our country, we only use the as you see here, we have a very big amount of the olive waters that are just rejected in the environment, especially in these areas. As you can see, Fas Bulman and Sensitive House region in Makna Safidat. In the compounds of olive waste waters, we can find a lot of stuff like dry matter, total sugars, nitrogenous substances, organic acids, polyalcohols, pectin, and the tannins and phenols, which are very toxic for the nature. I'm sorry. And due to its high organic matter, they are very, they cause the portion of the environment, as I said before. As you can see, we can find that there are a lot of a very high level of biochemical oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand also if we use the discontinuous process, which impacts our environment negatively. It impacts the water, the soil, and the sewerage network because of the lipids and the phenols and the viscosity of the olive waste waters. So we thought about the idea of doing this project and participating in this competition with it. Our objective was to find a new ecological method of the treatment and to valorize the olive waste waters and to minimize their pollutant effect on the environment. So here, as you can see, the approach and time and plan. After the registration, we got accepted, and then we had the first meeting. And thanks to the first meeting, we had a clear vision of how we should work. So we divided our work into three big questions. The first one is how is the olive sector in our country, and how the olive waste waters can affect our environment. The second one is to find the three treatment methods that already exist and propose a new one, and to find a methods of valorization. So the first method is the anaerobic digestion. It's inhibited by the phenols and the phenolic compounds, and also by hydroxyl group. The efficiency of this method is that it allows us to produce a very high biogas within 20 days, and it reduces the chemical the COD. And here we can find the technical and economic feasibility of the project. We need almost $440 per year for an installation that treats 10 tons of olive waste waters. The second one is the filtration. We use a column that is filled with C gravel and activated carbon. So after the process of trituration, we take the olive waste waters and we apply them to a DO island, then the screening, then the filtration. It reduces the COD and the dry matter and the phenols, and it neutralizes the pH. Then we have the filtration through soil this, we need a consistent sea sand, a sandy oil, then a clay soil. It also reduces the COD and the dry matter and the phenols. The advantage of this method that is the soil can be reused after the filtration as a fertilizer, and we also can use multiple times the soil for the filtration. The fourth method is the evaporation. It's natural. It only to put the olive wastewaters in a big pools of almost 1.5 liters. The problem of this method is that it's insufficient for the evaporation, and with time we have that film of lipids that operates in the surface of the olive waters, so the evaporation is not longer available, and it reduces and also it's the water that is evaporated during summer, it can be regenerated during the winter, and it's very expensive. So the fifth method is the filtration through sand and oxidation with hydroxide and peroxide. We use the hydroxide, the peroxide after the filtration in order to neutralize the pH and reduce the COD and phenols and dry matter even more. Then we have the cold digestion with dairy liquid waste. It consists on using that mixture of olive waste and the dairy liquid waste in order to produce biogas and to eliminate the phenols and reduce COD. So as a treatment that we recommend the use of two treatments. The first one is the electrochemical treatment, which should be followed by the anaerobic treatment. Why? Because the first one we use some electrolysis. It's a biological process that consists on the oxidizing of phenolic compounds. So we can eliminate them, and we will have only the organic matter that can in which we can add the anaerobic process and even produce the methane gas. That will help us to produce electricity and power. In order to valorize the wastewater, we present. The first one is the spray. You can the soil with using the vegetable water. This is a very good method because that vegetable water is very rich with in minerals, and it positively affects the plants and the diversity of microorganisms and the soil, and we have better soil characteristics. The second one is the feeding for animals. In fact, if we use the vegetable water as a direct feed for animals or for poultry or for water for poultry, we have we can notice that we reduce the mortality rate of animals and even the cost of meat. So that we can have these animals can have diarrhea. So to avoid this problem, we add some proteins to the livestock, according to Dalmoliev process, which is to use 50 kilos of vegetable water with 20 kilos of maize and 12 and 6 kilograms of residues and agriculture products. The third method is the composting of vegetable water. It consists on transforming the organic matter into a humic substance and destroying the parasites and pathogenic microorganisms, and use the final products as a fertilizer. And the fourth one is the production of unicellular organism proteins for the yeast or the mold. So if we use the yeast, we can have organisms that are capable of transforming organic substances into high protein and vitamins. And if we use the molds like Aspergillus or Geotrium canzanium, we have a biomass that is suitable for feeding animals. Now I finished with the presentation.
Thank you very much. It was quite challenging because we had some technical problems. We could not understand everything, but anyway, we could get the idea. I think it was a interesting presentation and interesting approach. Are there any questions?
No, just a small comment. I mean, it's you offer us a very good overview of the potentialities about the use of these wastewaters in olive oil production, and it's a really interesting field of for innovations.
Just one thing to add. If you go to the website of ISEKI-Food Association, you will find several webinars on waste, on food waste. Yeah, so maybe you can also have a look there and get some ideas. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we come now to the last presentation. It's also from Wageningen University, but I'm afraid I don't see anybody from Wageningen. Is there anybody from this team that is mentioned? Hikmat Masri, but she is not registered. So is there anybody from this team present? So please raise your hand. There are some people I don't know. Do you have any information, Paola, about this team?
No, I didn't. They didn't get in touch with me, so I really don't know. I sent several messages to them in these days, so but I don't know if there is any issue about their participation of today. If not, we go on and we continue with the presentation because the time is we are under more or less the schedule, so they must be anyway here.
Yeah. So I think then, yeah, we are finished with all the presentations. I think it was quite interesting, at least for me. I didn't see the presentations before. We had a team which was chaired by Rui Costa for the evaluation of these projects. And then I would like, I don't know, Rui, you are already online. Do you have a presentation, or Paola, you have the presentation for the voting?
Hi. Yes, I have the presentation.
I make the presenter, yeah?
Yes, you can make. So it was a presentation shared with Paola. So I will show my screen. Right. Okay. So good afternoon to you all. Thank you for participating in this competition. So I'm in charge of presenting now this final part. So in this first international competition, we had 8 teams. They sent us the report and the presentation, each one, and now we have this final ceremony, let's say, the presentation of all, and now the award. So we were more or less 6 people evaluating these projects, 2 people from the industry, 2 from food industry associations, from Greece and from France, and the 2 people from the universities. So we evaluated, as I said, the report and the PowerPoint presentation. The evaluation criteria was, as already informed to you, was the project innovation, the potential application, and this is very important. How, if that were the application could be really applied into practice soon, the potential benefits also. So we had the report for which we looked for the quality of the strategy and development, and also for the overall quality. The award, as it was already said, was announced. We have a certificate for all the participants, and the certificate of participation. And for the winner team, we have a certificate for the winners, 200 euros per team, which is good for, can be used for a good meal. And we have also a book of our ISEKI-Food series from the ISEKI-Food Association, a book for each one of the team. So we'll send it to you. Those details will be sent to the team that is winning by the IFA Secretariat. Also, we'd like you to invite you to come to the international conference that we are going to organize in 2018 in Stuttgart, in Germany, and the winning team will have a free entrance. So the participants you already know. We didn't have all attending this last event, but these are the teams. I think we are missing the incorporation of friendly bacteria produced by Bacillus subtilis into ice cream. And I'm not sure, I think the avocado also didn't present. Okay, and then, so this is a quick view of the certificate of attendance that we'll send to all. And, oops, sorry, I would like to make some suspense, but I made a mistake. I would like to say now that the winning team, due to these criteria, especially the capability, the applicability, and the way it was very well presented, it's the their IQ. So I don't know if Gerard, you can open the microphone to the people of this group. And if I don't know.
Andrea, yeah, Andrea Castillo, Andrea Maribel. Is Andrea Maribel with us? Yeah!
Their sound is off.
Okay, you have to open. And now it's.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. We hope you enjoyed the presentation.
We enjoyed the project. I mean, that was the most important part besides your presentation, because the presentation was today. So actually, that's the most important thing. Maybe I would like just to add a few words, Rui, if I can.
Sure.
Yeah. Just to make some notes to all the participants. The evaluation was done independently. I mean, none of the people that was directly or indirectly involved in the organization of this competition was involved. This means that me, Gerard, Christina, Silva, and Florence Dubois-Buissonnet were involved. So it has been done by 6 independent experts. And so they really evaluate what you have written. So this is absolutely an important aspect based on the criteria we selected. For me, it was very challenging this joke, this game, let's say, and I think that for all the participants as well. We are so very happy that actually also the team was not European. So for us is something that is really interesting also from this point of view, and we hope in the future also to have a larger environment in which we could play our role as ISEKI-Food Association. So, yeah.
So we count on you to join ISEKI team, the ISEKI-Food network. So you and all the other participants. So we can look on our website for other things that you can do with us. And the details of the award will be sent to you by email. Okay. So thank you to all. Gerard.
Yeah, thank you, Rui, for carrying out this evaluation, and congratulations again to the winning team, but also to the others. They were also very interesting contributions, and thank you for participating in this event. It was also quite a challenge for us because it was the first time, but I think it went quite well despite some technical issues. But anyway, I think this was a good start, and we will repeat it also next year. So maybe you can distribute this information to your other colleagues and motivate them to participate again. And also this workshop is recorded and will be available also for public on the Foodstar website. Yeah, so you can have a look to this and also show to your friends.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, just a final thing. The certificates will be sent by the end of this week to all the teams, and we will be in touch with the winner, with you, Andrea, and the Berry IQ team for delivering you the awards that have been planned. That's all.
Thank you.
A special thanks to the teacher. I didn't think we say a special thanks to the teacher that supported the students. Thanks a lot.
Very hard. Thank you very much.
I have
event, and we are very happy to participate with you. And we hope we see you in the Congress.
Okay, I would like to give also a special thanks for to the other scientific members of this food factory for us that contributed and worked with me, Gerard, in the development of this idea of this game, which are Christina and Florence.
Okay, thank you very much, and have a nice evening and a nice day to Mexico. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye.